Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Nurashika Adila binti Ahmad Rashidi. Today me and my friend will present about measuring economy and social impact. So, what is economic impact? It refers to all the environmental factors that influence the economy and financial situation of a company. It involves costs to enhance environment. Next is cost involved in economic impact. What is the cost involved? First, cost of packaging. This is to switching or exchange the packaging that gives negative impact to the environment to packaging that more environmental friendly. For example, to change from plastic bag to paper bag. Second is cost of water treatment plant. This cost incurred when the company make their own water treatment plant. Third is cost of collecting and disposing waste. This is the cost when hire waste management company. Fourth is cost to minimize the amount of wastage dumped to river and air emission. We can minimize the amount when all companies follow the amount allowed to release the waste.
How to measure an economic impact? First is define success. Government should give a strict regulation to comply and avoid fines. Secondly is decide what to measure. We need to select the appropriate impact, and appropriate impact is such as a metric ton. Next is to determine the measure and the value of the impact. We also need to know the life cycle analysis, environment input and the output modeling, and also the ecosystem valuation. Lastly is incorporate environmental measures into decision making. We need evaluate communication and need to improve to get the best decision. For important of the economic impact is first is obtaining or maintaining a license to operate. This is because result from the companies shows shareholders that the company activity benefits the economy in which they operate. Secondly is better management of environmental costs. Company can improve the management of environmental costs by identify and analyze the relevant costs that need to be incurred. Next is business enabling environment. Companies can show to policymakers how their business activities are contributing to public policy goals. Lastly is positive financial performance. Good implementation of management costs will contribute positive financial performance of the company. Next is positive economic impact. Firstly is increase in sales. An increase in income is another possible effect of economic growth. Increasing revenue can result in higher costs and lower profit margin. Cutting costs also can result in diminished sales and also lower profit margin if market share is lost over time. Secondly is improve business sustainability. We also can earn more money and boost the bottom line by making the business more sustainable. It also reduces business company more innovative strategies, improve reputation, and new more customers who value the sustainability. All work to increase the amount of money sustainable business earn. Next is job opportunities. As an employee, we contribute to the greater good as part of our paycheck goes to taxes. The government then use the taxpayers' money to invest in social services such as in the form of roads or other infrastructure for our country. Lastly is demand of the goods or service will increase. When the demand for a goods or service will increase, its price typically increase because suppliers cannot cope with the increased demand. In economic terms, this results in a shift in the demand curve to the right.
Assalamualaikum and Farah Muslim. I will proceed with the social impacts. What is social impact? Social impact can be defined as a total outcome that happened because of the activity of the organizations. In other words, it includes anything that affects company stakeholder relationship that involve internal and external stakeholders such as investors, employees, customers, and government agencies. We will move to the elements of social impact. There are four main elements of social impact, which are input, output, outcome, and impact. Input are resources invested to make something happen, and it is measured as a cost and typically include time, money, and effort. The output is obviously the accomplishment or direct result of the business objective or goal. Outcome is the changes to people resulting from the activity that will occur over a longer period. Lastly, impacts are the outcome less an estimate of what would happen later. Okay, let us use a simple example of training an online business program. The cost incurred for training an online business program is the input. The output here is the numbers of participants that get involved in training online business program. For example, 25 people learn on how to create an advertisement on their business as a result from the training program. Next is the outcome. The outcome is the numbers of people who started an online business and improved their personal circumstances as a result from the training program. Lastly, the impact could be the numbers of people, let's say 20 out of 25 businessmen who are able to develop the online application for their business as a result from the training program. Next is how to measure the social impact. Firstly, it is very important to an organization to study on the output that need to be measured. Therefore, the organization should have an objective and goal that include the theory of change. Theory of change is a framework to measure the social impact by making explicit relationship between activities and desired outcomes. Secondly, any organization needs to know the objective of different stakeholders and it will lead to the sources of value creation. To measure the value creation, they need to identify and prioritize stakeholders' needs. Then, they need to consult with the stakeholders to ascertain common priorities as well as to measure progress towards achieving the main objective. In addition, they also need to understand how the organization objective match with stakeholder objective. Lastly, the organization needs to tell the stakeholders what they are doing well, where they could be improved, and what the future goals are. The third way to measure the social impact is by doing the social return on investment. Social return on investment is a method for measuring and communicating a broad concept of value that incorporates social, environmental, economic impacts. It is a way to monetize the value of social impacts of organization activities or program in financial terms. It is when the social value will be compared with the cost of making the project happen. For example, the investor looks for evidence of social impact that result from the investment in the project. It is a ratio of a net present value of benefits over net present value of investment that will be calculated as a value of social impact divided by investment required. Through this ratio, an organization can give a simple and clear indicator of their value created for the stakeholders.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kairunisa Ibrisa. I will present about importance of social impact. Okay, in the long run, improving the employability and career prospects of underrepresented young adults in a community might result in increased talent acquisition and diversity for the company. According to Shelton Group's brands and stands, social purpose in the new black, 86% believe companies should take a stand on social issues, and 64 basic points of those who believe it's extremely important for a company to take a stand on a social issue are very likely to purchase a product based on the commitment. Okay, it is also to contribute to community development as well as their own commercial sustainability. these efforts have a significantly positive influence not only on the company's brand image but also on well-being of its employees and customers, which translate to higher productions and sales of the company's good. Okay, companies that are breaking the mold are going beyond corporate social responsibility to social innovation. This I take from Robert's most culture in the Harvard Business Review. Okay, these organizations are the center of the new paradigm. They see community need as chance to experiment with new ideas and technology, as well as to locate and service new customers and address long-standing corporate challenges. Okay, next I will present about positive impact on social. Okay, CSR may have a positive influence on society and help to build a healthy community. But it can also be a component of a successful corporate plan. It establishes a critical ethical stand in which members are held accountable for carrying out their public responsibility. Okay. There's no arguing that exhibiting positive social effect may boost a company's client and job seekers attractiveness. It gives people the opinion of working for or doing business with firms that devote their time, talents, and in many cases, a tiny portions of their revenues to bringing about constructive social change. Okay, still, social impact corporations have far reaching a good consequences. Companies that have a social effect are frequently devoted to ensuring that their supply chains are long-lasting as their efforts, while sustainability is frequently associated with environmental sustainability. It is equally necessary to consider social and economic sustainability. Okay, these dedications to sustainability applies that social impact organization make every effort to collaborate with suppliers and vendors who are environmentally consequentious, give workers valuable wages, and oppose destructive social policies.
Alright. Example case in Malaysia related to the environment and social impact. In years 2019, Kim River polluted by the toxic waste. The water pollution incident occurred on 7 March 2019 caused by illegal chemical waste dumping at Kim River in Pasir Gudang of Johor, Malaysia. Because of the incident affecting 6,000 people and hospitalizing 2,775 people. Most of the victims were school students, and 110 schools located near of the river are subsequently closed. Because of the incident, the total estimate cost has been incurred by the accident was 15.4 million ringgit Malaysia to cleaning up the affected river and to buy equipment to resolve the matter. Through the investigation, it was believed that the chemical waste were dumped from a lorry tanker into the Kim River in Wihawa on the same day before of the victim fell ill.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Asri bin Mahmud. Okay, before we go through the initiative to curb the case, I would like to share the polluter pays principle. The polluter pays principle in environmental law, the polluter pays principle is enacted to make the party responsible for producing pollution and responsible for paying for the damage done for the natural environment. It is regarded as a regional custom because of the strong support it has received in most organizations of economic cooperation and development. In Malaysia, federal government has provided Environment Quality Act 1974 in order to protect environment. Next is way to curb the cases. To enhance solid waste management, Malaysia has taken a stepwise approach to privatize and centralize its solid waste management. The standard hierarchy of waste management involves 5 crucial steps, which is reuse, reduce, recycling, treatment, and disposal. Reuse is the action or practice of using an item, whether for its original purposes or to fulfill a different function. It should be distinguished from recycling, which is the breaking down on used items to make raw materials for the manufacture of new products. Reuse is by taking but not reprocessing previously used items which help save time, money, energy and resources. In broader economic terms, it can make quality product available for people and organizations with limited means, while generating job and business activity that contribute to the economy. Okay, next is reduce. It is also known as waste prevention, means reducing waste at the source. It can take many different forms, including reusing or donating items, buying in bulk, reducing packaging, redesigning products, and reducing toxicity. Source reduction is also important in manufacturing and can save natural resources, conserve energy, reduce pollution, reduce the toxicity of our waste, and save money for consumers and business alike. It includes any activity that reduces or eliminates the generation of waste. Waste production helps to create less waste in the first place before recycling, since it avoids recycling, composting, landfilling, and combustion. It helps to reduce waste disposal and handling costs. Waste reduction can be achieved at several levels, such as reduction of per capita waste generation through public education and government policy initiatives. Separation of recyclable materials can be very useful. Next, recycling is a resources recovery practice that refers to the collection and reuse of waste materials such as empty beverage containers. This process involves breaking down and reusing materials that would otherwise be gotten rid of as trash. There are numerous benefits of recycling, and with so many new technologies making even more material recyclable, it is possible to clean up the earth. Recycling not only benefits the environment but also positively affects the economy. The material from which the items are made can be made into new products. Material for recycling may be collected separately from general waste using dedicated bins and collection vehicles, a procedure called campsite collection. In some communities, the owner of the waste is required to separate the material into different bins. For example, they will separate paper, plastic, and metal prior to its collection. In other communities, all recyclable material are placed in a single bin for collection, and the sorting is handled later at a central facility. Okay, lastly, treatment and disposal. There are two ways of treatment and disposal, which is landfill and incineration. A landfill site, also known as a tip, dump, a rubbish dump, garbage dump, or dumping ground, is a site for the disposal of waste material. Landfill is the oldest and most common form of waste disposal, although the systematic burial of the waste with daily, intermediate, and final cover only began in the 1940s. In the past, refuse was simply left in piles or thrown into pits. In archaeology, this is known as a midden. At present, construction industry is one of the industries that generate and dump heaps of waste to landfill. Some landfill sites are used for waste management purposes, such as temporary storage, consolidation and transfer, or for various stages of processing waste material, such as sorting, treatment or recycling. For incineration, incineration is a disposal method in which solid organic waste are subjected to combustion so as to convert them into residual and gaseous product. This method is useful for disposal of both municipal solid waste and solid residual from wastewater treatment. This process reduces the volume of solid waste by 80 to 95%. Incineration and other high-temperature waste treatment systems are sometimes described as thermal treatment. Incinerators convert waste material into heat, gas, steam and ash. Incineration is carried out both on a small scale by individual and on a large scale by industry. It is used to dispose of solid, liquid, gaseous waste. It is recognized as a practical method of disposing of certain hazardous waste materials such as biological medical waste. Incineration is a controversial method of waste disposal due to issues such as emission of gaseous pollutants including substantial quantities of carbon dioxide. Okay, next, in order to curb waste generation, the government provide targeted incentive to companies that undertake activities which cater to environmental management, specifically recycling of waste such as toxic and non-toxic waste. This company can be considered for income tax exemption of 17% under pioneer status for the period of 5 years or investment tax allowance of 60% on the qualifying capital expenditure incurred within a period of 5 years. The response has been promising with 313 recycling projects approved with total investment of 7.6 billion as at December 2018. In achieving more integrated waste management solution, the government had further extended the tax incentive for green technology through the budget 2014. The incentive aims to encourage firms to revise their approach by incorporating a combination of waste management techniques, including collection, storage, composting, and disposal with other co-recycling, recovery, or waste treatment activities. These activities will strengthen the ecosystem of green technology in Malaysia and enhance firm operation to include a more holistic approach to waste management. Waste recycling facilities are currently dispersed around the country, causing difficulties in recovering valuable waste materials and components that can be recycled. To mitigate this issue, the Waste Eco Park (WEP) incentive for developers, managers and operators was introduced under the budget 2016 to centralize recycling companies from various industries under the same locations. Through the initiative, a circular approach to waste management can be established in working towards zero waste production. Companies which undertake the activity of developing WEP with a minimum investment of 50 million can be considered for income tax exemption of 70% on income derived from the rental of building, fees received from the usage of waste collection and separation facility and waste water treatment facility located in WEP from year assessment 2016 until the year assessment 2025.
Okay, lastly, for the conclusion, all activities that involve environment will give an impact towards the economy and social. We are responsible towards the environment in order to have a better life as well as protect our mother nature. Environment is natural resources that are important to us and will extinct time to time as it cannot be replaced once it have been destroyed. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.